this might gain you some votes. It might gain you some votes, or it could hurt you a little bit too. Who knows?
All right. Go
But
ahead.
so I got this question, the big question for next Sunday. Are you going for the Bengals, or are you
Um,
more are you more for the Rams? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talk the Talk. My name's Jose Olmeda.
Hi, I'm Felix Gutierrez Jr. I'm running for Justice of the Peace for Precinct 4, Place 2.
Felix, how did you get started in wanting to go in this path, to want to go for Justice of the Peace?
So for Justice of the Peace, I actually used to work for Judge Charles Espinosa, which is just JP41. These two courts are similar. The only thing is that 4-2, which is the one I'm running for, also has truancy. So when I first started, this was long ago. So he's the one that pretty much taught me everything that the JP's courts, what they do, right?
Okay.
So they pretty much hear traffic citations, Class C misdemeanors, civil cases that are under $20,000. They also hear landlord-tenant disputes. They do truancy, perform magistrate duties, and also conduct inquests, which is pronounce people deceased. Yeah.
Okay.
So from there, I've also worked for the sheriff's office. Well, at the sheriff's office, that actually what really got me interested in this position.
Wow.
So I was noticing a trend that was starting to change, right? So I was noticing a lot of 18, 19, 20-year-olds that were coming in that weren't in shock. They weren't afraid of being in jail. It was something that was normal to them, right?
Wow.
And so that got me thinking, well, it's probably because they've been in the juvie system all their lives, you know what I mean? In and out of trouble. And
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, that definitely would
yeah.
make sense.
So then the next thing I started noticing is that we started getting a lot of 15, 16, 17-year-olds for murder or
Wow.
for murder charges and
Man,
higher, you know what I mean? Like really, really higher degree charges like that.
these are
So
young, like really young
yes, 15,
people.
16, 17 years old. So one
Wow.
case that I was working on, this kid was 15 years old. Okay. He had killed 9 people. So what happened in his case was that he was actually recruited in high school at an alternative school to become a coyote. And that's where he crashed and killed 9 people. But so then I started asking him, how did all this happen? Right. So he had mentioned to me that he was in and out of trouble. He had truancy cases. And so I started looking, and most of these kids had already had truancy cases before it escalated to something worse.
Okay.
So I was thinking, if we could have helped out these kids back then when these issues were occurring, you know what I mean? These kids we could have had them volunteer in schools, or have them volunteer in hospitals or the police department or within the city, you know what I mean? Have them volunteer within our communities to show them that there's something better out there for them. These
Yeah.
kids could have became teachers, could have became police officers, fire department, you know what I mean? They could have become something within our community instead of spending the rest of their lives in prison.
Right. They could have used their time and their energy to do something more positive than all these negative things.
Right. Which is when this court, when I found out that Hassel was retiring, I was like, you know what, this is my opportunity to try to help out these kids. You know what I mean? So because this court does deal with the truancy. So that's when I decided to drop everything and run for this position.
Wow. Wow. That's very impressive. And that's cool. That's really, that's an amazing thing, amazing quality, and something I believe that it sounds like you're very passionate about. Like
Right.
you want to make a true difference.
That's the main reason why I'm running for this campaign.
And Felix, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you have something, you're like an event you're going to be holding or a
Yes.
get together Sunday.
On Sunday, this Sunday, on the 6th at El Taco Place at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to be having an event there. If and anybody wants to join, more than welcome to join.
Okay. Have you been there before?
Yes,
How is it?
it's pretty good. Their tacos are pretty full. Yeah.
Wow, wow, man. That tells me everything I need to know. Like when, because there's places where, they don't put enough,
Yeah.
they don't put enough in your
Yeah.
taco. And
Yeah,
then
this
there's
one you're
places
taking
where
a bite and you have the chunks of meat coming out, egg, and
oh,
all the filling coming out the other end. Yeah, they fill them up pretty good.
that's the best. That's the best. All right. So what would you say is your favorite taco from there?
I like ham and egg. That's what I like.
Oh, I just had that yesterday. I had, well, of course, I gotta be honest. I had one I had to pick it up on my way to work, but it was from Stripes. But man, it was really good. I bet theirs is better,
Oh
but
yeah,
I had one, and I love ham and egg too. So
yeah.
justice of the peace, because
Mhm.
to me, you explained everything great. Uh, but to me, what I was thinking was like, so this is basically trying to create peace among,
On
I
the community.
guess,
Yeah,
yeah.
and this isn't a part-time position. This isn't a full-time position. This is every day around the clock.
Wow,
I
man.
mean, you really have to devote yourself to this position because the community is needs help 24/7. I mean, there's people that pass away at 2, 3 in the morning, and someone has to be there to pronounce them deceased so they can move the body, so they can, you know what I mean, move the body and clear the scene and start investigating and see what happened. But that's actually the number one complaint that I've gotten from the community is that the delay in time that it takes for a justice of the peace to go out there at 2, 3 in the morning to pronounce their family members deceased. Some don't want to do it. It takes them 10 hours by the time they can actually move their family member out of there. So imagine you seeing your own family member there for 10 hours deceased, you know what I mean? And some of these cases they're not peaceful deaths. You know what I mean? They're gruesome. So for a family member to be seeing that, that's horrible. So I feel that as justice of the peace, it's our responsibility to take care of the community. You know what I mean? In that way, to respect them.
Right, right. And that's something that nobody really likes to think about, but at the same time, it happens. It's
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah.
Like this stuff happens, and it's amazing what you guys do. It's amazing what, how that's taken care of. I have never heard of it like that before.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of other people haven't, heard of it like that as well, unless you, I guess, kind of maybe go through it yourself, or you may hear it from somebody else. But
Yeah.
that's
Because a lot of people do think that this position is an 8 to 5, which it's not. It's not. The staff may be there 8 to 5, but the justice of the peace is always working for the community
so 24/7,
24/7.
complete dedication.
Yeah.
I also know that you went to UTRGV.
Yes, I went. Well, it was called UTPA right before. It was
Okay.
way back in the day, and
Yes,
which
yes.
now it's called UTRGV. Yes, I graduated with a degree in accounting from there. But
Accounting. Okay. How was your experience there? Would you just like to kind of go
that I
back on
mean,
that? And
I would recommend everybody to go to college and experience college. It's something way different than high school. I mean, you meet a lot more people. Um, it's just so different. It's so different. It's how can I say? You meet the amount of people that you meet, you get to see all their experiences as well. You know what I mean? And you get to appreciate just being there at the university from hearing some of their stories. At STC, if you don't know which degree which pathway you want to go into, I'd say STC is a pretty good way to start. Because you get to see all the different paths that you can take before you actually can hit a university. And all those classes are transferable over to UTPA or UTRGV.
nice, nice. Okay, awesome. Great advice, man. Felix, I think it's awesome what you're doing as far as like going for justice of the peace. And this would be your first time running, right? This is your
First
first time.
time. That's something else. I'm not a politician. By far, I'm not a politician. I'm just a regular person like you know what I mean, that wants to make a difference.
And it's funny you say that because I do want to make a difference. I really do. I really do. I think we have that in common. My thing was, just wanting to kind of create a platform and get more recognition for like people who like local artists. So like mainly film. I felt like film was very there was a lot of like lacking support to like for local filmmakers, and I wouldn't say, I mean, musicians, they kind of, they do get out there and they do stuff, but I would even say them too. You know, I think I just kind of wanted like doing film. I was kind of doing some films. And I met some, you know, local filmmakers, and through that, I did meet some people who also like to sing, and like singers, songwriters. And I felt like after I met them, I kind of started creating these events so we can kind of do stuff together, like a film festival, but have music performances. And
Have you seen what Edinburgh is actually planning to do with the arts department? It's expanding huge.
I've heard some stuff. I have
Yeah,
heard some stuff.
you might want to do a little segment on that. That's something that's coming up also.
Just kind of wanted to do like something for the local filmmakers, the ones like not so much films from like outside of Texas or outside of even the Valley. I kind of I just met so many that are here. I wanted to showcase their work and try to get them a little bit more recognition. So I started doing like events, like, and this was before COVID. I started kind of having like little events at different places. And at the same time, I was thinking about it, like trying to involve different businesses so we can kind of like all help promote each other, you know,
Well, there's a, what is it called? El Cine del Rey in McAllen.
I love Cine del Rey.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love Cine del Rey. I've actually, and we would hold events there like once a month. Once a month we would hold an event there, and we would show like double feature movies. And then like every now and then I had one of my film festivals there. We had two.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. And you know, of course, the people that usually go knew about it, and then I guess they would spread the word. And but man, things were starting to get like, we were starting to get more like larger groups coming and attending the events. But man, COVID just like
yeah, COVID's been affecting everybody, and every business has been affected by COVID. Yeah. But actually, I've heard today that it's actually going down. That, I mean, the U.S. reports are actually showing that COVID cases are decreasing.
I heard something about that in the radio yesterday as well. And that's because, man, just last week, they were talking, just last week, it was still, the cases were like, you know, still pretty high.
There was a backlog in cases, right? So there was a backlog in 23,000 that had been affected. But I mean, now everything has gone down since then.
Wow. How do you feel about that, by the way, as far as, you know, COVID? How do you like, well, what's your view on that? I mean, do you wear your mask? You know, are you?
I wear my mask. My father almost passed away due to COVID. He went from weighing 300 pounds to going down to 180 pounds. He lost a lot of weight.
Wow.
He actually got COVID. It was before there was vaccines or anything like that. So, and it was right when it was just happening.
So like around, because I know I kind of started hitting here around like March is what I remember. March 2020 was when it was kind of like.
And he still can't taste and he still can't smell. So since, I mean, that's one reason why I keep him close to me, because I just want to spend as much time with him. You know what I mean? God forbid anything happen. You know what I mean? This was a huge eye opener.
I do know what you mean, though. Yeah.
He's always been around, but now I'm like, no, you got to be here. Come see the grandkids every day. Every day, come see the kids.
And I bet he takes care of himself, though. I mean, especially after that, I'm sure he, like, you know, he's probably what they say is to wash your hands, you know, wear the mask.
And that's weird, because I mean, some people don't even get any symptoms at all. It's like, I actually have not had COVID. I haven't had COVID.
Neither have I.
And it's crazy because the amount of people that I've seen and met, you know what I mean? I would have thought I would have had it already, but luckily I haven't had it. My mother got COVID, but she just had a sinus issue, and that was it.
Wow. It's actually, it's crazy. I mean, like, I love what you just said right now about that. It seems like the cases are going down, because I'm hoping that and you're right about that. I heard about it as well, but I'm hoping that it's going down and it'll finally get back to normal again, because I know a lot of people have been struggling, you know, to not just businesses, but just people in general, just to kind of get back to they're, you know, doing things that they love to do and traveling, you know, spending time with more family, because I'm like you. I haven't gotten COVID, thank God, knock on wood, right? But I haven't gotten it, and actually, my family, like, we're just. I think maybe a lot of people might consider us pretty extreme, you know, like as far as you know, you know, as far as being cautious and being careful. But I feel like we've been doing, like, basically everything we've been doing has been working to this point. So we just want to try to continue doing that. Which
it is hard working a campaign during this time. It's way different. And that's like, we're all vaccinated, so we at least try to stay safe in that perspective, right?
I just listened to all the, you know, recommendations that were being given early on about COVID, and so I think the sanitizing, I think not touching your face, especially if you know, your hands are not clean, and washing your hands before you eat, I think, and of course wearing your mask if you're going to be around people is still really important right now. But as you said, man, I think the cases are going down. I hope that, you know, things are going to be starting to go for, you know, like for the better.
Yeah, it looks like things are going to be for the better after this. So, well, it's like influenza, right, when it first started. But I believe in that, in 1.4 million people died in when influenza first hit in the 1900s.
That's true. That's a good point. This might gain you some votes. It might gain you some votes, or it could hurt you a little bit too. Who knows?
Right.
But so I got this question, the big question for next Sunday. Are you going for the Bengals, or are you more for the Rams?
Well, since
I was kidding about the votes.
My brothers and I always compete with this, right? So he's going for the Bengals, so I'm gonna go for the Rams.
Oh. So you always choose the opposite team?
I always choose the opposite team that he's gonna go with.
Oh, wow. So are you sure there's not one team that you guys like? Because everybody, I mean, especially if you're from Texas, well, and there could be some divisions, because I know there's diehard Cowboy fans. No, I was gonna say, I know there's diehard Cowboy fans who hate the Texans, and then if you're a diehard Texans fan, you hate the Cowboys. I am one that love both.
No, we're actually Dallas Cowboy fans, right? Okay. Since we're little, we've been Cowboy fans.
Right.
But we would have this thing where every year we're Cowboy fans, but we'll choose a team that we think might go to the Super Bowl. So, but we're still Cowboy fans always.
Man, I'll never forget the '93 Cowboys.
Yeah, that's where, right, we grew up with Aikman, was it Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith? Yeah.
Yes, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, Alvin Harper.
Yes.
And then of course you had that defense, Ken Norton. Man, they were just really great, man. I feel like I really do feel like that's probably the best football team in the history of the NFL, if I had to pick one.
Yeah.
But that's funny that you say that you always go against
Johnson as their head coach, right? Maybe we could have gotten another Super Bowl, but it whatever happened. So
I know. No, I feel the same way. And there's a lot of people. My father-in-law, he goes on about that all the time, about how, you know, he's not a fan of Jerry Jones.
No.
Because he feels like Jerry Jones is the one that basically, you know, had Jimmy Johnson leave the Cowboys, basically, to put it mildly, you know.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, yes, I do agree. If he remained the coach, I believe there would have been a few more Super Bowls our way.
Yeah.
But so you're going, okay. So that's your pick for the Super Bowl. Okay. Yeah, and it's funny you say you always pick before, like you always pick a team before the Super Bowl, because I actually made a winning prediction last year. And because I really did, because Tom Brady went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you know how the guy is. I mean, except this year, you know, he got close, but usually you can't count him out. So last year I just kind of had it in my mind. I was like, man, how crazy would it be if Brady took the Buccaneers to the Super Bowl? And it just so happens the Super Bowl is going to be played in Tampa Bay, in their hometown. So they would be the first team to ever like play in the Super Bowl if he got him there. But then he didn't just take him there; he ended up winning it.
It's a lot of coincidence, right?
It is. But I just had that thought. I was like, man, I heard the Super Bowl was going to be there, and I was like, after that, the thought registered, and I was like, you know what? I feel like I wouldn't put it past Tom Brady. I think if anybody could do it, it's going to be this guy, because he's just like they call him the greatest of all time.
Yeah, that's my brother's number one hero right there, Tom Brady.
Yeah. And you know, he's not he's a hero of mine, but you know, like, yeah, and I know there's super fans of him, but it's just, man, I'm just so impressed by him. It's like, man, the stuff he does is just amazing. But so it's kind of crazy, man, because this Super Bowl is going to be in Los Angeles, so you have the Rams. They have the opportunity to try to win it, you know, in their.
So going back to your Tom Brady Tampa Bay, right now you have the Rams LA.
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
Another, just because, you know, I'm a big movie fanatic. I have to ask you, what would you like? What comes to mind when you think about some of your favorite movies of all time? It is a tough question.
I really like a lot of the films from was it from Kill Bill? Who's the producer of that one?
Kill Bill, yeah, that's Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino, yes, I really do like a lot of his films.
Yeah, no, he's awesome.
Yeah,
he's really good. So yeah, I do too. As a matter of fact, my first one, the first one I ever saw of his, and it's still my number one of all his films, is Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, okay.
And I noticed on your Facebook you shared a Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh, yes.
quote. It says, "Everybody can be great because anybody can serve." I just think that's awesome that you did that. I mean,
thank you. Yeah, because really, you just need to care. You know what I mean? You just need to care about the community and care about what you're doing in order to serve and want to make a difference in this world. You don't have to go and be, you know what I mean? You don't have to be an attorney or be something far beyond. But as long as you have the heart, as long as you have the will to do this, you can do anything.
That's awesome. No, that's great, man. I love that. Like, what is your appreciation for law enforcement here in the valley?
Well, our law enforcement are so highly trained in DWI cases. It's the amount of paperwork that they have to do and the training that they go through. It's really hard for a DWI case to be dismissed. They do amazing work here in the county.
That's good. No, yeah. And I think the law enforcement is such a like, you're right. It's super important, I think, for people here to just respect what they do, because, you know, like, they're the ones that ultimately are there to keep us safe and just, you know, make sure.
Yeah, I feel that people don't. It's a lot of sacrifice. To be a police officer is a lot of sacrifice. You're gonna miss birthday parties. You're gonna miss holidays with the family. Sometimes you work 24 hours, right, before a shift. It's a lot. It takes a lot on an individual to become a police officer.
Yes.
But it's a huge sacrifice, not only for the police officer, but for the family as well. It's a huge sacrifice.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I definitely agree. So okay, and I just have.
Well, another appreciation that I have is I used to volunteer for the Edinburgh School District, right? And the amount of work that teachers go through and their style of teaching to do what they do, that's a new appreciation that I have for teachers by far. They're so underappreciated. I feel that they need to be appreciated more. It's crazy. If someone doesn't understand what they go through, I would recommend they volunteer for a school district so they can see the amount of work that they do. And the teachers being able to teach that many kids, it's really a gift to our community.
Awesome. No, that's great, man. And I totally agree with you there too as well. My wife's a teacher. Her mom, her dad were teachers. I remember, like, when I was a kid growing up, I would always hear how difficult it was, you know, and I felt like they weren't as respected as they are now. I feel like, and they should be respected, just like law enforcement, just like, you know, all these people who do such tremendous jobs, and also like yourself, like what you're trying to do. I definitely give you props for that, because I think that's amazing what you guys are, everybody who's trying to, make a
Trying to
difference.
better the community, yes.
Exactly. So another question, what are some of your favorite hobbies?
So let's see. Right now, let's see. Since football season's almost over,
Yeah,
right?
I feel you,
Um,
man.
I have a CNC machine, so I like designing different platforms, different woodwork. I like doing woodwork and stuff like that. Yeah, that's one of them.
That's awesome, dude. So you built stuff like custom, like tables and desks and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, well, I haven't gone as far as that. My CNC router is just, it's about, I don't know, 16 by 24 inches. So I actually built that one. That was pretty good.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, that was pretty
You-
interesting. My son was watching me build. He's like, "Dad, what are you doing?" I'm like, "We're building a computer," right? To try to explain it to him, we're building a computer that you can tell it what to do and it'll design it for you. He's like, "Oh, okay."
Wow, wow. I bet you he was like really impressed, like, wow, that's awesome,
Yeah.
Dad.
Yeah, so I try to get them interested in little things like that. You know what I mean, like technology and stuff. Try to get more little of a hands-on approach.
That's
Yeah.
always good, man. That's always good. Yeah, that way, he's able to do stuff like that. Because I think
Yeah.
people always appreciate someone who can create things and is so creative like that and talented
Yeah,
to do
I
different
also
things.
teach them. I teach them about cars too. Whenever I'm gonna go work on a truck or go work on a vehicle, I'm like, come on, let's go. So he knows a few things. He's 8 years old and he already knows. He knows a lot. He knows how to replace a window regulator if he needs to on a vehicle. So he knows
Wow.
quite a bit.
And that's what I'm talking about. I think stuff like that is very important for an
Yeah,
individual to know, especially that young of age. I mean,
yeah.
and I'm sure you're going to teach him more as he gets
Oh
older.
yeah,
That
yeah.
way, he's able to, in case he ever needs to fix anything or make any adjustments, he can
Yeah.
rely on
He'll do on
himself.
his own. Yes. Yeah.
That's
And
awesome,
that's,
man.
I mean, that's good for him. I mean, he's a smart little kid. He's a smart little kid.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I can tell you're very proud. You're very proud of your boy and your family. Is there any final message you'd like to leave the audience slash ultimate goal?
Well, if elected into this position, my ultimate goal would be to help out the kids in this community, because that's something that I see is being impacted more, even with COVID now, that's being impacting the kids in a different way. And I feel that as a community, we need to come together to help out these kids um, kind of overcome this, because there's a lot of kids that are going to have uh, PTSD over this. You know what I mean? They're going to be afraid to go out there and experience the world. Um, but I feel that as a community, we should come together and try to help out these kids do something more, and show them that there's more out there that they can do. That whatever they set their mind to, whatever they want to do, they can accomplish.
I love that. That's awesome, man. Awesome. Great message. Felix, can you give the audience just some information as far as like how when voting is and how they can show support? If the
Sure. So early voting is February 14th to the 25th, which is going to be Valentine's Day, right? First day. So I'll be out there with my wife at the voting polls.
we'll be sure to show you some love on Valentine's.
Right? And then the final election day is March 1st. March 1st. And if you want to help out, just spread my message, spread what I'm trying to do for the community. That's all I ask, is just for everybody to want to know what we're about, so that they know who they're voting for and why they're voting for that individual.
Sounds good. All right. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Felix. I really appreciate your time. And I really do. I do appreciate your time, and I love what you're trying to do with your mission.
I know, and thank you so much for having me on here, Jose. It's an amazing opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. Thank you too, man. And good luck to you. And we'll definitely talk again soon.
Cool. Thank you. You have my number. Give me a call. This is one thing that I post on being available to everyone. On everything, all the ads that I've done, everything has my number on it. My phone number is 956-777-3763. I'm available anytime.